How are you, kids? It's that time again. This is like having a real job. I woke up, I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do today. Oh, that's right. 5 times a week? I'm telling you, you want to become lazy, become a comic for about 30 years. And, it'll really suck the life out of you. Welcome to the show. And, what's it, 93 degrees in New York City today. Crazy. On the way in here, here's the beauty of the West Side Highway. I drive in from Westchester. And they have a sewage treatment plant right off the West Side Highway. It's a nice tribute to the Joe DiMaggio Highway is what it's called now. And I told you, you don't move on it. It should be the Lou Gehrig Highway. But I'm sitting in a little bit of traffic, and there's the sewage treatment plant, 93 degrees. You wouldn't believe this. Just picture all the feces in Manhattan and all the surrounding areas funneled into a giant ice cream bowl. I thought I had a piece of shit on my upper lip when I was driving. It was the most horrendous. I had to put on I have the air conditioning. It's sucking in from the outside, and people looking at you when you get out of your car in the garage. You smell funny. Yeah. You're just sitting next to 70,000 tons of unprocessed poo-poo. But it's one of the charms of living in New York and the surrounding areas. You get property taxes, they rape you there, and there's potholes everywhere. And I got to be honest, folks, if I could live in Tulsa tomorrow, I'd do it. Get a nice basement apartment, become a quiet serial killer, do comedy at night, Jesus H. 866-969-1969 if you would like to join in the fun here. And I see that Stevie Colbert is still beating Jimmy Fallon in the ratings thanks to Trump. I bet you there's a memo somewhere floating from CBS to the Democrats going, hey, leave Trump alone. Don't impeach him or anything. We're getting big numbers here. That's how Colbert's doing it. Soon as Trump was sworn in, he started beating Fallon. But Fallon's still winning in the important demo. The age 11 to 47. No, 18 to 49 or whatever. But that's what the advertisers like. This is showbiz inside stuff, you guys. He has a 27% edge over Colbert. But ever since Colbert made that, Putin-Trump cock holster joke, which, it sent him through the roof. Fallon just nipped him over 3.182 million nightly viewers, just ahead of the 3.174 million for Colbert. So it's virtual tie right there. And the year-to-date averages include live viewing plus 7 days of delayed playback, which weekly numbers do not include. I haven't watched TV in real time, and I can't remember the last time. I tried, especially sports, baseball doesn't exactly zip along, as you know, and I tried watching, I've been recording for the last few years, ever since DVR, and I watch things, fast through the commercials and all that. I tried watching a Sox game the other night in real time. I almost started crying in the second inning. Oh my God. I can see why young kids are kind of turned off. And I'm an older fellow who's patient. I can sit through it. But once you condition yourself with a DVR and you can zip through all that stuff, and I even fast forward through the catcher throwing the ball back to the pitcher. I got it down to about 11-minute game. And I can't imagine like a kid, 17 or 18 trying to sit down. I mean, they already have the attention span of a, retarded gnat. Now they're going to sit down and watch 9 innings. Anything more exciting when the pitcher throws over to first base 6 times to keep the guy close, huh? Unfucking believable. I still like it, though. That shows you how lazy I am. And again, I blame that on being a comedian. But it's brutal. And that's all I do. Comedy at night, little radio, and glued to the television set. And by the way, I know Fallon and Colbert. I met Stephen Colbert. He did Tough Crowd with us. Likable guy, but again, those glasses and that pretentious delivery. All the jerk-offs in the audience, they all have Janine Garofalo glasses, all the fucking women. Ever walk by a Starbucks and you see the chicks drinking on their computer? They all look like they have Janine's glasses. I just want to reach in there and hit them with some heavy cream right in the face. Anybody? Sure. And I love Fallon. Fallon's as nice as he comes across, and And, so if Trump's, first of all, Trump's not going to get impeached. It's almost impossible. You literally have to be, bribery, treason. That's what you have to do to get impeached. So that's probably not going to friggin' happen, but who knows? It seems like they want his scalp pretty bad. But if he goes, see you later, Colbert.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously.
But there's such a hate. It's unbelievable to me. CBS is, they're taking some shit, too. CBS, NBC, ABC, they all perpetuate the politically correct, preachy horseshit, the diversity, this, that, and the other thing. And I've been saying that for years, whether it's the commercials or the sitcoms. Everybody can see it now. It's just hilarious how the white dad's portrayed and everything. But CBS is catching some flack because they announced their fall lineup, and it's like it's all guys. It's all guys, God forbid, and everybody's upset. Oh, goodness. It's all guys. They're fucking furious.
Quiet like a bitch.
It's not bad enough.
Tony.
It's not bad enough. You know what I mean? Every sitcom, the husband's just a douche. It's not, every cop show, whether it's CSI Vermont, Burlington, or whatever, every cop show, there's, 3 smoking hot female cops and 1 guy, and they're figuring out the crime scene, and the Asian chick comes in and figures it out in 3 seconds. That's not enough for you girls, you feminists. Upset because CBS has a bunch of male lead characters. Maybe the women at home want to see the male lead characters, even though you emasculate the shit out of them. They all have the macho-ness of Nathan Lane. They did the upfronts, whatever that is. I'm supposed to know what that was because I'm in show business, but I never quite got that far. I had a couple lines on Grace Under Fire. And what was Brooke Shields' show? Oh, God. Remember the name of it?
The Blue Lagoon. I don't know. Let's see.
That was the fucking movie.
I do. Yeah, I remember the show. I can't remember what it's called.
My wife could call in if she's listening. Right now, she's in bed with Terrell Suggs. But listen, pick up the. Yeah, so Les Moonves is on the defensive. I love it. They create these politically correct atmospheres, and then they get. They get attacked by their own. Last year, CBS was criticized for their new fall app. Featured 6 shows, all starring white males. God forbid. This fall's just revealed lineup shows. The broadcaster has gotten more diverse, they said sarcastically. 5 shows starring white males and 1 starring former Criminal Minds favorite Shamar Moore. A reporter at CBS Press Breakfast on Wednesday asked Les Moonves if having no new shows with female leads is really a good idea. We saw this with you guys last year, she said. Are you concerned, particularly in a medium like television where women watch more than men, that you have such a male-centered lineup? And Les Moonves said, sit down and shut your hole. No, he said, number one, more women watch CBS percentage-wise than any other network. God forbid you bring up the facts, So he says, so our shows have a lot more female appeal. It makes sense, right? The chicks like to see a guy. I mean, is everything identity politics? You can't relate unless you're black. It has to be black characters. If you're a chick or LGBT, you got to stay in your own lane. You can't relate to anything else in the world.
No.
Thank you very much, said the bearded woman. That was my... But I like Les Moonves because he defended himself. I don't think we ever have to apologize for having Madam Secretary, the show Madam Secretary, which was really, they come up with that idea when Hillary announced she was running. By the way, that was like a fucking love letter to her. And Lucy Liu on Elementary, whatever the fuck that is, and the Good Fight, and the Good Wife, and the Good Broad, and the Nice Tits. These are all female-driven shows, so I don't know what this woman's whining about. He says, we do a number of pilots. A lot of them have women in starring roles. There are a lot of women on the schedule. The best pilots win at the end of the day. He's saying we do it by merit.
Right.
God forbid. It's called merit. Can you get away from your identity horseshit for 1 second, please? And he's got the numbers to prove it. That his network, like you said, is getting more women viewers. So what is she bitching about? Or he, or whoever. The reporter pressed, we're at this point in the industry. FX, for example, is trying to make sure half its directors are female. Well, that's fair, isn't it? Some guy, good director who deserves it, but he doesn't have tits, so he's not going to get the job. Is that the world you want to live in?
No.
That's right, Judy Gold. It seems like you guys might be facing in the wrong direction. And he said, again, go make me a sandwich. No, he didn't say that. I don't think that's the case. He says, let me put on my CEO hat for a second because I'm not the president of entertainment. You can tell he's getting a little itchy now, Les.
Yeah.
When I look at the totality of what CBS is, I look at news, I look at daytime TV, I look at sports, I look at Showtime, I look at the CW, and when you look at the totality of that, I think we're fine in terms of the amount of chicks/broads who are behind the camera and in front of the camera. I think we're doing a very good job. I don't think we're looking in the wrong direction. On the contrary. Now, again, I would like mustard and ham and on a whole grain, Diane. But do they ever stop? Are they ever satisfied? I don't watch anything but news and sports now because I can't get away from. I can't suspend my disbelief with a wife who's just so much smarter than the husband. It's true in my case. I married a person a lot smarter than me, but for the most part, do you have to see life through those PC? And I know it's changed. Yes, women's roles have changed, but Jesus, can we get a rest from it for 5 seconds, please? I can't. I haven't watched now. Andy, when's the last time you watched a network?
I couldn't even.
Have you ever watched something like that, like CSI? Like in Delaware?
I like the original Law and Order with McCoy and Briscoe.
And even that I have a big problem with Law and Order.
I watch mostly the dramas now. I like the Fargos and the HBO original series, Leftovers.
Yeah.
I can watch network sitcoms 10 plus years. Maybe more.
Last one I watched was The Courtship of Eddie's Father.
I'll take that back. I like The Office.
The Office.
When it was on.
Yeah, but again, emasculated white, silly guys.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, please.
I like this.
Go watch Barney Miller to see how men should be portrayed. Fucking people. I have no idea how to run a country. I'm looking at Brendan. Brendan, how old are you, Brendan? Oh, he's on the phone.
He's 25.
I think he's calling. I think he's reporting me to the people upstairs. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. And I'm just so tired of it. They can't leave it alone for 5 minutes. Somebody's always pissing and moaning. There's not enough color there. There's not enough diversity. You know what, folks? I got to be honest with you. And I've been saying this for years. You see a Budweiser commercial. You got the three white guys and a black friend, or the three black guys and a white friend. You know what? In some houses on Super Bowl Sunday, it's all black people, not one white person there. It's all white people. And people will use this as an excuse. Yeah, but it's about reaching you're selling a product. You want so that's kind of insulting, really.
Right,
so a black guy's not going to buy Budweiser unless he sees a black guy in a commercial, or a white guy is not going to buy it. I'm not buying that caca. Again, it's some type of agenda. I'll figure it out by the end of the show tonight.
Perfect.
It really is. Let's go to Steve on line 1. What the hell? Stevie boy.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I have to say I'm 25 years old, and I'm sick of my generation. It makes me fucking disgusted. That's why when I'm off, I watch The Sopranos. I watch my favorite episodes, especially that one where they go up to the Pine Barrens.
How funny was that? How funny was that?
I get that whiskey, I got a steak on there, and then I look at my generation. I go on Facebook, and I look at these fat-titted broads over at Half Jacked. I'm like a bunch of fucking morons.
I don't blame you, generation. Some of them I do, but I've been backing off on that at first because they're a little bit entitled and stuff. But we're such a media-driven society, and they ingest this shit. On TV, films, commercial, and like Hicks used to use this phrase, you're tainting your subconscious without even knowing it, watching this stuff year after year. Yeah. And then they go to college and it's even worse. It's like this PC shit on steroids. So they're their minds are being raped. So I don't completely blame them. Some of you guys do, some of them do believe in this, I'm going to run to my safe space and horse shit. And if you make me uncomfortable.
Trigger words.
Yeah, trigger words. And so, I don't blame them completely. But, there's some of them when I'm in the audience, I look at them and they have their head cocked because I said tits or something. It's like, what are we, pilgrims tonight? The fuck? So.
Nick, I love your show. I have seen you at 25 shows. I was out in Riverhead for the tape of the special.
Oh, my God.
Get better and get better. I'm up there with Johnny Wheels over there. Joey Wheels, whatever his name is.
Well, I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you, man. Thanks for the
All right,
support.
Thank you. God bless, Nick.
You got it, brother. I love the guy. Oh, watch your fucking Sopranos and these fucking faggots. God bless. God bless. But I don't really blame them, you know? I don't. Every once in a while I get into a little run-in, like at the Stand a couple of years, where I come out and this lady, obviously a gay woman, she was about, she was built like me, same haircut, and you just say shit to make people uncomfortable. No, that is not my goal. I noticed most of the people were laughing in there, you know? She gets right in my face. And then I try to be nice, you know what I mean? I try to trim her mutton chops. I go, see,
it's a nice gesture.
Yeah, it's a nice gesture. And Pat Milligan's watching, who runs the Stand, and he's laughing. He's standing out on the sidewalk, watch me go toe-to-toe with this woman who looked like Boom Boom Mancini, and she's right in my grill. And really, you think you have the right to go into a comedy club and not be offended? That's... I don't know where that comes from. We talked about it yesterday, especially when I'm on the road and I'm headlining and I do morning radio and they plug it and somebody might get pissed like 5 minutes into the show and you're like, you really didn't do your homework. You can't just wander in to a comedy club. But do you see what I'm saying? They're being bombarded. Whether it's, they're complaining because there's too many guys on CBS's Fall Line. You can't get away from it. You can't get away from it. And that shit did not come from my side of the political aisle, okay? We don't run television in Hollywood, okay? And when I get on a bus in New York or whatever, when I get out of my limo in front of here, the Sirius 2, I don't see a Mexican guy standing next to a guy with an Indian headdress and another guy on a donkey, and an English guy, and I see a lot of people. Ever walk into even a high school cafeteria? I don't know why I'd be there now. It's kind of creepy. But you walk in and all the brown kids are sitting together. It's sort of innate. There's nothing racist about it. And I notice they do that in prison too. You've seen Lock Up, Andy, haven't you?
Absolutely.
People want to be with their own people. But, just can we get 5 minutes of somebody not whining about their group not being represented? And we'll be talking about Caitlin in a few minutes on that one. And remind me to bring up the show Chopped. And I just... are there straight people allowed on the Food Network anymore? That's my question. It's hard to sit down and watch Cupcake Wars when I'm... let's go to Brendan, line 2. Brendan, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm going pretty good. How you doing?
Good. How do you watch sports on DVR? I would figure, you would find out the score through social media and throw everything up.
Well, no. I'd find out the score through social media? Well, here's why. I record it. I'll go into the city. I'll be doing comedy, let's say, and or running my own restaurant. That's my big dream. But I'll go into the city. I'll be doing stand-up comedy, running around, and then I have to drive back to Westchester. So while I'm in the city, I'm recording the Red Sox game or whatever I want to watch. And believe it or not, this city is so diverse and shit. You can walk into any bar. You're gonna see 12 soccer games on. It's unbelievable. I have no it's a good question, actually, but I never, first of all, right now it's the Sox I like to watch, so you don't see them much, but I get home with no problem without finding out a hockey score or stuff. And it's made for a great marriage. I'll come home at about midnight. My wife's upstairs crying. I'll be watching the Bruins and the Penguins. But I know what you mean. I have gone on Twitter by, accident, forgetting, and then you see a score.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I have to drive to that guy's house.
I can't do it because I'm always on Twitter and I'm always going to see something below it for me. I tried it once, never again.
Well, Brendan, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Yeah, maybe just shut off the phone for a couple hours and,
Oh, I do. Playoff time, I do. But my team got canned last week, so that's the end of that.
Playoff time, he shuts off the... Yeah, yep. No, it's actually a good question. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, buddy. I remember, do you remember when Villanova... No, you don't. You're 11. What am I saying?
I don't even know what you're going to say.
You're a sports fan, so you might know. Villanova beat...
Georgetown?
Yes.
85.
Yes. I was working as a barback at a club called Stitches, and I was recording that game on my VCR back then.
The perfect game.
And I'm in a comedy club, and I didn't hear the score all night. Didn't hear it all night. I was so excited. Now I'm cleaning up at 2 a.m, right? I'm putting out in the trash, and I have a tuxedo shirt on with dry puke on it and red wine. And I'm walking to my car on Calm Avenue. It's like 2 a.m. Haven't heard the score all night. I'm excited about getting home and watching the game. Some guy yells to his buddy like a mile down the street, "Did you hear who won the Villanova?" I'm fucking fuming. But you know what? I went into, like I said, I went to a bar yesterday. Okay, let's say it was late in the day, and middle of the day, I go in and there's 19, it was like a sports bar on Broadway somewhere. There's 19 screens and not one baseball game on, all soccer. Now, I appreciate it. It's the world's most popular sport and all that horse shit, but Jesus Christ, it's baseball season. I'm in New York City. Not even a replay of a Mets game. All soccer, and nobody watching it. Couple of the cooks, Mexicans looking out the window, but nobody watching it. So a lot of people feel like I do, but if I ask to change the channel, probably catch a beating. Let's go to Michael in line 9. Michael, how you doing, pal?
Nick, love you, man.
Thank you very much. What's going on?
You ever snack on a black chick?
Have I what?
Ever snacked on a black chick?
Snacked on a black chick.
Yes.
No, a Greek girl with a really good tan. It's the closest I've come, but,
Serious, man?
Yeah.
You didn't, get into her and hold in and put in Koi masa? That kind of shit? No. Huh?
No, Mike. I haven't. I'm glad you're sticking with the subject we're talking about. I appreciate it. I'll work that into the... have a snack on a black chick. That was, de Blasio's kid calling it. Throwing a... have a snack. What kind of talk is that?
Go down on.
I know what he meant. What am I, 106, Andy?
Well,
For Christ's sake.
Well,
it could. You're right. It could have meant tits. You assumed it meant No, I've never. No, I haven't even done that to a white chick. A couple of guys. Yum yum. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was stupid. Let's go to now. Kevin already called us, didn't he?
I don't know.
Let's go to the redneck nerd. He's got a question about Trump. Fuck the subjects. We'll just talk.
I wouldn't say it's a question. It's more of a comment.
Okay, it's a comment. Go ahead, sir.
All right. You said Colbert, if Trump got, wow, the words just fell out of my head. I'm not usually up this late. But
yeah, 6:30.
If Trump was gone,
yeah, impeach.
Colbert would still have Pence. Impeach. Thank you.
Yeah.
Colbert would still have Pence to rag on, so I don't know if his ratings would go down.
No, they definitely would, because it's Trump. They despise him at a level that people, you can't even. He's a white, straight, heterosexual Christian male who likes to grab pussy, and he's a billionaire. He's everything that embodies the devil to the left. That's why I laugh. I'm watching the news and people are going, I don't understand the reaction of the left and what. I mean, it's ridiculous how much they hate him, and they're missing. He embodies everything that they've been railing against for 40 years. I was laughing my ass off when he got elected. This is going to be friggin' ugly, and it's worse than I thought. It's worse than anything. He's got money, and he's braggadocious, and he's everything. These little pussies who are running the world. The nerds are running the world right now. He's everything they hate, and it makes for great theater, doesn't it? So I disagree. I think they'll still go after Pence, but Pence keeps it close to the vest. He's kind of quiet. Pence looks like a guy, if you're making a movie, you'd cast as the president. Got the nice white hair and you know what I mean? He's kind of, and they'll go after him because he's religious and whatnot, and he's gonna, keep whores from having abortions. You know what I'm saying?
Plus he was picked by Trump, so they'll definitely go after him.
Well, they'll go after him, but not like they're going after Trump. No way. Thanks for the call. Appreciate that, redneck nerd in Texas.
Thanks, nerdy.
Beautiful. 866-969-1969 is the phone number, but you can't get away from the... Holy moly, really? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Where did that go?
I know.
Holy Christ, that was a fast half hour. Only another hour and a half, and I can tell dick jokes down the street. Pick up another $12. What I'll tell you. But they're never satisfied. I wish the feminists would go away. I'd rather hang out with Black Lives Matter than to hang out with the feminist movement at this point. I take it personal they don't like fucking men. I take it personal. Even if the woman's gay, I'm like, what do you... I know you're born that way, but you don't come on. We got nothing to offer you? Give me a break. But then they have kids and they use our sperm. And they say that we want them for one thing. Jesus Christ. At least you're in the room and I want it. These guys they have banks now. They pull up. You can order a kid fast. We'll do that story later. My back. So CBS, you better get more chicks in there or you're going to get I'll tell you, You're going to be in deep doo-doo. We come back, I want to talk about my sleep problems because there was an article about that. And I want to talk about psychedelic drugs they're using to treat people for mental health problems. I thought that actually caused mental health problems. And I'll tell a few stories about me trying weed, edibles, and whatnot. Is that a 30? Again, he flashed me. What is that? A 30? And we'll talk about Harvard, black students having their own graduation, the black students. So we're regressing there, too. Anyways, Nick DiPaolo, 866-969-1969. Back after this, kids.
You're listening to the Nick DiPaolo Show.
That distorted sound again. That's weird. Alrighty. That's all right. Edgar Winter, by the way. You know, I love this song. I returned to kickoff in high school.
Yeah.
And they used to play the highlights during the cafeteria at lunch. My brother put it together. He had me returning to kick with this under.
It's great.
And I still didn't get laid. Anyways. Yeah, Catholic girls, Boston. Very unsettling, trying to get laid when you're at that age and you're a Catholic chick and she's got the crucifix hanging off her neck. Jesus is in your face. I'm trying to get down her pants. Very unsettling. Anyways, I was going to make a bad joke with get us all canned on day 3, but I'll skip that. I'll take a few more calls before I get into the next thing. Let's go to Zach in Chicago, line 5. Zach, what's going on?
Yeah, hey, Nick. First of all, I just want to tell you, I saw you in Chicago about 5 years ago, and you improv the line about Michael Jackson inventing the moonwalk when he walked in on his father raping Tito, and it's one of the funniest goddamn things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's right.
But I keep seeing.
Hey! What are you on? Are you strapped to the outside of a 747? We can't. Guys, if you're gonna call the show, seriously, try to be indoors on the couch in a bubble. You know those kids that have no immune system are in a bubble? Try to get in there with one. Go ahead. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, no, I want to get your take on all this. I keep seeing all these guilty white people printing this shit about white privilege.
Yeah.
And how all these double standards and things. I read an article yesterday about this 5'0" white girl that was bitching because she took a samurai sword to school for a costume and nobody hassled her, but her school got put on lockdown because a black guy with a glue gun walked by somebody's door. And I'm thinking to myself, the two don't mesh up to me. I could smash this girl's head in, samurai sword or not. If you think you see a black guy with a gun, I think we're talking apples and oranges.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's Chicago, right? Did it happen in Chicago?
I don't know where that would happen.
Did it even happen? Hey, look, there's always going to be, again, that's different than privilege. We're talking about stereotypes and stuff and, whatever. It's like, remember the kid, thanks for the call, Zach. Remember the kid, the little Muslim kid that made the clock that looked just like a bomb? Yeah. And, that was funny. And his old man put him up to it and stuff. And that was, yes, they were the fucking, if you looked up his old man's history, little shady, and they were fucking with Whitey when he brought that to school. I know Brendan doesn't believe that. He's from that generation that, oh, come on, a kid made a clock. Yeah, a lot of clocks have duct tape and an alarm clock and C4 powder on the outside.
Screws.
Give me a fucking break. But anyways, people are conflating the white privilege thing with just plain racism. But a glue gun. I don't know. I know what a glue gun looks like. I'm guessing like a regular gun. Let's go to line 2. Sal. Real quick. Sal.
Hey, Nick.
What's up, Sal?
Hey, I love you, man.
Thank you, bro.
Show's great. Hey, are you going to have, guests on, maybe Florentine or some guys like that, or are you just going to do a solo thing, or what's going on?
I don't know. You got a problem with just solo? You got to hear guys you've been hearing on every other show for the last 10 years? Is that what you really want to hear? Is that the big get? And I love Florentine. I'm just saying. So, you know.
No, man. I just wanted to call in. I know.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have guests. We already had a guest. This is day 3, and you busted my balls. I got Michelle Obama outside right now. They got me waiting in the lobby, Mike. No, we'll have guests. I think tomorrow night we might have Roger Stone.
Yes.
This guy, he's you probably don't know who he is. You're probably an Islanders fan, but I don't even know what that means. But, big political operative. He got Nixon elected and Reagan, and a lot of people said he invented the smear tactics, and this guy's a real player. So we'll have him on. And then we'll have on, Soupy Sales. We'll fly him in from Cleveland.
I think that'd be hard to do, but anyway, I just wanted to tell you, I'm in my mid-60s.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You sound like like you're 40.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're still going to die. Don't thank me.
No, I ain't going to die, I hope. But I work with all these kids because I didn't want to take Social Security disability. Anyway, but long story short, you talk about, I buy a newspaper every day, and I catch so much shit about reading the
you have a dog?
USA Today because you can get it free online, But I just like the paper, you know what I mean? I got to pick my games. I got to pick my horse. Whatever it is.
I'm with you on that. Hey, thanks for the call, Sal. I'm with you on that. People still make fun of me because I actually read the paper. They go, why do you read the paper? And I go, because when I'm reading the newspaper, an article doesn't pop up going, hey, look at Kim Kardashian. You want to see what Marsha Brady's tits look like now? I'm reading about the Middle East. I'm reading about the West Bank. I don't want to know what Kirstie Alley's ass looks like. and I'll click on that bait shit, It's always like, this female tennis star didn't know why the people were applauding, and they show, she's bent over and, whatever, with the most beautiful ass. What, I'm going to continue to read about Hamas? I have no attention span is what I'm saying, but I do both. I'll read the paper, and, the New York Post is like a pamphlet, rip through that in 20 minutes, and, and then I'll jump on the computer. But just read the headlines on Drudge. You want to get depressed? Just read the headlines. The world is coming apart. Yesterday, we didn't even touch on this. The guy walks into a supermarket with a head. What? He killed his mother or some relative. Walks in with the head, carrying the head into like a supermarket. And of course, the guy said paper or plastic. But walked in with a head. I'm not making this shit up. And just, it's hilarious. People getting eaten by boa constrictors and shit. You want to get depressed? I'm telling you. How do you sleep, Andy?
Just fine. I fall asleep on the couch every night in front of the TV.
That's where I used to do my best, sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, and then I wake up at 4 a.m., walk to my bedroom. And get more sleep. Yeah.
But how old are you?
37.
Yeah, you still sleep. I told you last night, and again, I lined up the coffee before the show, and late in the day, I don't know if I can handle it. Last night, I was wide awake, got home, watched TV till like 10 or 2. Went to bed, fell asleep immediately, woke up 4 o'clock. And totally refreshed. That's what sucks. I feel, and the last thing you're supposed to do is like get on your phone. I'm looking at the news on my phone. Apparently the lights, they trigger something in your brain, if you have one. And, so I lay there for about an hour, try to rub one out. Can't even do that. Take a Advil PM. No booze this time because the chiropractor said I'd kill myself. I just took the Advil PM. Then I slept till about 10:30. Still feel like shit. That wipes half my memory out. And, but I was bringing this up because there's an article saying beauty sleep is real. Too little sleep leaves you less attractive. I thought they meant personality-wise. But, it's true, man. I look like Fredo. I got those black rings under my eye. You know that Italian? We have that. Yeah. That's blood that settles under your eyes after your dad beat you. And, but it looks very horrible. And, but that's what they did some study. There really is such a thing as beauty sleep. They did a study in Stockholm. 25 volunteers agreed to be photographed after having had 2 consecutive nights of good sleep, and then again after having only 4 hours sleep for 2 nights in a row. 122 members of the public were then asked to look at the photos, giving each person pictured a rating of attractiveness, health, sleepiness, and trustworthiness. And a response to the question, how much would you like to socialize with this person in the picture? And I hate these, I read these articles and they have the English spelling, socialize with an S.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep hearing people referring to, people don't get fired in this country, they get sacked now.
Yeah.
And the tunnel is now a tube. Hey, fuck faces, if you want to live in England, move over there. Okay? Stop with the sacked shit. You got fired. You get fucking canned. Being an American. Really irritates me. Oh, and baseball, baseball announcers, the word is struggled, not scuffled. They always go, the guy's coming to play, he's 3 for 18, he's scuffling. That's a fight. Look it up. It's struggling. And I blame Harold Reynolds for that. He started that. You don't like Harold Reynolds?
No.
I like Harold Reynolds.
I hate
but
the
he
whole
started
ESPN
the whole scuffling
crew.
thing.
He might be on Fox Sports, but still.
Anyways, you don't get laid as much if you don't get sleep, they say. And, again, does that go for a 22-year-old girl with big tits?
I'm out all night trying to chase tail rounds.
Well, there you go. Exactly. Andy's out chasing guys, and he's going to look horseshit either way. But, it's really affected me. I've been to the doctors many times. So, when sleep restricted, the volunteers were perceived to be less attractive, less healthy, and more sleepy, and the raiders were less inclined to socialize with people who hadn't had enough sleep. There was no difference in perceived trustworthiness. Well, how the hell are you going to tell us? Why would, if you're looking tired, that makes you can't trust somebody because they look tired? Yeah. There was no difference, they said. That's kind of a stupid thing. But, yeah, so I'm going through Advil PM, and it's eating my stomach up. Somebody said you do Benadryl. I've done melatonin. I'm about 5 minutes away from heroin. But, well, let's play I have an insomnia bit from my special inflammatory, which you can get on CISO.com and on iTunes, the album. So this is me on my sleeping problems. This is half the bit. I know you get excited if it's more than a couple minutes.
I have to work out during the day because I can't sleep. I have a horrible insomnia. And everybody I tell this to, they always ask me the same question. They go, have you tried warm milk? No, I haven't, for a couple reasons. Number one, it's not 1966 anymore. Number two, I'm not a fucking 3-day-old kitten. Have I tried warm milk? Yeah, I saw a lady breastfeeding at the mall today, and I went up to her, I said, I noticed you have one open. Next thing you know, I'm out like a light in front of the yarn barn for 2.5 hours. Warm milk. I'd rather be up here 10 years straight than drink warm milk. Who likes the taste of warm milk? Brand new babies and gay guys, right? Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. That was homophobic.
Fellas, no offense, all right? I see you give me this stink eye. You're a couple of handsome fellas up front. You both got over-tight shirts on, but let's go with it, huh? Let's play. I'm just, I got more gay friends than Kelly Ripa. I'm in show business, for Christ's sake. Don't, fucking warm milk. My buddy goes, have you tried chamomile tea? How gay a suggestion is that coming out of a guy? I go, why don't you just suck my dick? I'll pass out in about 3 minutes. Dave.
Oh, goodness. That's hate speech.
Chamomile tea. All the cures for insomnia are very effeminate. Have you tried rubbing yogurt on your taint while you're doing a word scramble? There's no macho cures, you know? Nobody ever goes, have you tried snorting Valium, drinking Jack Daniels, and jerking off twice? As a matter of fact, I haven't. I'm still tossing and turning at night. That's why I don't think a bottle of Yoo-Hoo at room temperature is going to do the trick.
Yeah. What's the matter, Andy?
I'm enjoying it.
Well, but when I did the game...
Oh, I was mimicking the fake offense.
The people at home?
Yeah.
The fake outrage?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that's hate speech. There were two guys at my taping when I did that special, and I'm pretty sure they were gay. They had, the shirts, they're my size, and they were wearing a girl's medium. And, but they were, they didn't really come alive till I did some Kardashian shit. That seemed to hit a nerve with them. And, but when we filmed it, when they gave it back to me, the rough cut, they kept cutting to these guys. I'm not kidding you. 14 times in the first 20 minutes. I asked the people, the producers, are you trying to give these guys a series on CBS? Jesus. There's, 400 people there. Can we put somebody else in the thing? But, yeah, so a lot of my sleeplessness, they say that's also a symptom of depression, and I tried the Zoloft, and that's what I was on when I did the inflammatory special. And I was experimenting with it. And I'm watching the special and go, why am I working so slow? I write these jokes at 100 miles an hour, and I didn't, and then it dawned on me. I was still fucking with the Zoloft, and antidepressants, they're supposed to make you sleep better. I'm talking about that because we're going to talk about in a few minutes psychedelic drugs like ecstasy, LSD. They're using them to treat depression and mental illness and stuff. So, and I'm scared shit of that. I can't even handle a joint. People tell me to smoke weed, and I'll get into that in a second. And let's go to Dave in Maryland, line 3.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Dave?
I love the show.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Hey, the NyQuil, they make this stuff that you can chug that's kind of like NyQuil, but without the cold medicine.
So,
supposed to help you sleep.
Yeah, what's the active ingredient? Heroin?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I never tried NyQuil itself. I forget why. There's something in it, I think, that makes me nuts.
The Zoloft, though, I'm on that. It takes that with a little bit of Ritalin, evens you right out.
Jesus, what are you, a serial killer? You're on Zoloft and Ritalin, evens you right out. Yeah, took out a family of 6, up like a baby that night. Thanks for the call. I've never tried the NyQuil. Because there's an ingredient in it. Brendan's telling me, like a lot of guys his age. What do you think, Brendan? Go ahead. It's weed, huh? Is the way to go?
Yeah, especially if you know you can get in with the strains. The different strains will help you out, too, because one will perk you right up and the other one will knock you out.
There's a weed that'll perk you up?
Yeah, sativa. Mm-hmm. Sativa strains will perk you right up.
Who smokes weed to get perked up?
Air traffic.
I'm going to do coke and meth. Sorry. I'm going back to the old-fashioned shit. A large Starbucks.
Yeah.
But I can't take the sleep stuff, like Ambien.
Yeah.
And everything. Ambien, even melatonin the next day, it makes me... I talk about that. I didn't play that part. It makes me scary, edgy.
The next day.
Oh, my God. Frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even tell you. I'm crawling. You know, have you ever done cocaine, Brendan? You can answer me.
No, I can't. No.
You're not going to get arrested. I know Andy has, I could just tell. But his nose is all bleeding, shit like that. But when you come down from coke, you're all edgy the next day and you feel like gross. You like your nervous system, somebody took a steel brush to it. That's what I feel like when I take sleep medication the next day. So I take Advil PM. That's about all I can handle. But even that makes me a little fucking weirded out. I'll talk about my experiences with marijuana to knock me out. I couldn't even handle it back in 1992. And you guys, the shit today is way stronger. In 1992, I remember I took an acting class, went to this girl's apartment with like 5 other guys in the class. We smoked a joint. And then on the way home from her apartment, I stopped at the bank. Chemical bank. I'm in line. I'm like 5th in line. There's a thing with a flashing number. Your number comes up. I'm like 4th in line. People come. I'm freaking out. I get up to the front. You know, my number comes up. I just looked at the lady. She's like 10 feet away. The teller, and I ran out the door. I couldn't even... And that was shitty weed, like in 1992.
Sure.
And I'll tell you, I told this on my podcast. I'll get to it in a few minutes. We talk about the psychedelic drugs. But somebody said, yeah, you got to try an edible or some stuff. And when do you hear that story? I mean, it's unbelievable. Let's go to John, line 1 in Denver. John, what's going on?
Hey, Nick, how you doing, buddy? Great to have you on the air. You're a lifesaver, man. That boring dead time is 4 to 6, man. This is great. Big fan of yours for a long time.
Thank you, Jay.
And I got to tell you, I'm an East Coast guy. I'm out here in Denver, and it's just like these people are so mellow out here. You want to smack the shit out of them.
It's probably the weed, the legal weed.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Brandon was saying you don't want to do weed. You know what you want to do? There's a thing called Elavil. It's an old antidepressant. I'm like you. I sleep 2-3 hours, and then I'm pacing around all night.
Yeah.
Elavil, they used to use it for for depression, and I had some issues with my neck, so they gave it to me for nerve pain, but it really mellowed me out, and it's non-narcotic, it's not addictive, and I had the Ambien shit, too, where you wake up with that hangover, and you just feel like crap.
I'm crazy the next day.
I'll tell you what, it really worked, man. I sleep 6-7 hours now, and I don't even have to take it every day, because it just gets your body in that mode where you can sleep.
It's an antidepressant?
It's an old antidepressant that didn't work, but they found that it was great for nerve pain. And it also, with me, it mellows me right out. So it's like, and nothing works on me. When I go in for surgery or something like that, they got to give me twice the normal amount because I'm like you, I'm going 24/7. So it really does work, you know. But the other thing is he was talking about that NyQuil. That's, you know what makes you crazy in the NyQuil is the decongestant in it. They have this shit called Z-Quil that's just a sleep agent.
Yeah.
You could probably try that, but you wake up with the hangover too because there's alcohol that's in there.
Everything.
But, you know, it's like it's crazy. But what I really want to talk to you about was the gang that couldn't shoot straight down there in Washington. I mean, is this like you can't write a comedy like this?
What do you mean?
What's going on down there?
Well, if you're referring to the Trump administration itself, or are you referring to the fucking all-out onslaught by the media to just
everything?
It is.
You know
no,
what?
You're right. It's
insane. It's insane. I sit here, you know, it's like I get Sirius in my car, and it keeps me going. I've been on the road for years, and I actually put CNN on now for comedy because every day it's something else. It's either Sean Spicer losing his mind, it's the press going nuts, and it's like, you know, you got Paul Ryan who's hiding in his office. He don't want to talk to anybody at this point. Right. And Trump, they're going to take his fucking phone away from him. He's a train wreck.
Well, how about
take his phone away from him?
How about CNN did a story? Thanks for the call. I appreciate it, Jay. Thanks,
okay, Nick.
I appreciate it. CNN actually did a story that Trump got 2 scoops of ice cream to everybody's one. Oh my aching stem. They've lost their fucking collective minds, and they really think they're going to impeach this guy. And I just see, I'm looking up there, Justice Department named special counsel in Rustin Vetch. Don't you have to commit a crime before you order a special prosecutor? I'm still trying to figure it. Whatever. We'll get to that in the second half of the show. I got more sleep advice. Let's go to Nick, line 3. Nick, is it Denver again? Really?
Hey, Nick.
What's going on? Boy, a lot of Denver. Anytime I talk about sleep aids, Denver is coming up right? Flush.
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Benadryl, right? You're telling me take Benadryl.
Well, Benadryl is just diphenhydramine. That's the other ingredient you got in your Advil PM.
Right.
And it's also, that guy was saying the Z-Quil, that's the same ingredient in there. It's just diphenhydramine. So that's the active ingredient in Benadryl.
Yeah, I was told that. Thank you for the call. That's what my doctor, you know, after about a year and after about 2 years of me complaining, oh, by the way, if you know, Benadryl's that's in Advil PM. The ibuprofen's what's ruining your stomach. Well, thanks for pointing that out, as I've been shedding blood the last 6 months, dummy. So I'll try the Benadryl. Brandon, how about you? Have you done that, Andy?
No, I don't take any of that shit.
You don't have to.
No.
You got a big bong beside your bed.
That's
loaded with
partially true.
With hashish.
Not anymore, man. I told you.
No?
Back in the day, sure, but not anymore.
Let me ask Pat. Pat's got a Tylenol PM thing that he's got a... Hey, go ahead, Pat.
Hey, Nick.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Nick, how are you, bud?
Good, thank you.
Oh, you know. Hey, yeah, no, I was going to say, go with the Tylenol PM instead of the Advil, yeah, because the anti-inflammatories in the Advil is what screwed up your stomach.
Right.
You're saying that. I know you're struggling. I have sleep apnea, and I had one of those machines so that I could sleep through the night, because it was the worst thing in the world. I turned 30, and all of a sudden I just was falling asleep while I was driving. I couldn't.
Oh, you had sleep apnea, Pat?
Yeah. I've had it since I was a little kid, but because I'm Italian and we genetically have small windpipes. My doctor says. What? So I was a 6-year-old little kid.
That's true.
You know, you could hear me snoring 2 rooms away, and you know.
Yes. Small windpipes. That's from your dad choking you and you didn't finish your ziti. Brendan's laughing his balls off. Anything that's like a generalization, Brendan, his face lights up. Like, we have small windpipes, Brendan.
That was like borderline eugenics right there, though.
It's true, though, man. My windpipe is thinner than the tube in my dick. I had it x-rayed. You think it's true, Andy?
Yeah.
Why?
I think I got sleep apnea.
You said you sleep good, dummy.
Yeah, but sometimes I wake up gasping for air.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think that might be more of a weight thing, though. Because I've noticed when I go up a little bit...
It's more of a weight thing. I have a fat chick sitting on my face. Yeah, sure.
My uncle died from that. My uncle died in sleep apnea.
Yeah, no, I know, it's a real thing, but, you know, I was told I don't snore by my wife and my girlfriend, so I don't know what to, you know what I mean? It's too... I don't snore, but lately she says I do. But that's what happened. You know Mike Boschetti? Remember Mike Boschetti?
Yes,
comedian.
sure.
He was on Nick and Artie with us. He stayed at my house once. We did a gig and it was too late. I let him stay at my house. And you know, I go in the bedroom. And it looks like he's going to get into a B-52 and fly to Tehran and drops. He's got what are you making? I thought he was making sherbet.
And he just had a heart attack.
He did.
Yeah, he's okay.
I wonder if that's related.
I mean, it can't be good for the heart. All that strain.
Yeah, and his heart, he actually lost a lot of weight, though.
Yeah, but he's okay. I don't think it wasn't too serious. But,
no, he told me it was pretty serious, actually.
I mean, yeah, he's out of the hospital now, but.
Yeah. So,
no good.
It isn't good. But, you know, and again, depression and, depression also, that's one of the symptoms, you know.
Yep.
I cry a lot now, like in my car. I do. It's weird. That's how you know. I got like 8 of the 10 clinical depression. You know, the mood swings, the anger, all the lack of sleep, the murdering of the family, all that shit. It's as you get older, like I said. So I tried the Zoloft, and then I got IBS problems and stuff. But I'm pretty healthy. Stopped doing the P90X. I might just blow up like a tick. Just start eating.
Sure.
Huh?
It's tempting.
It is tempting, right? How much time left?
11 seconds.
11 seconds. It's great. Can we be a little consistent with the signals?
I gave you the rap sign.
I know you did. All right. It's Nick DePaul. We got a lot more show. Sit tight, kids. Back after this. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. Always talking about my sleep problems. It affects your life, you know? You get cranky. You slap the guy at Starbucks and... You know what I mean? It gets ugly. But I was mentioning a little bit of depression. I cry when I see dog food commercials and tampon commercials, a little bit of sad shit in there. And, you know, and I hear Air Supply songs, stuff like this. It makes me, I get upset very easy when I'm tired. Like the other day, I'm coming in, I'm trying to sing to Neil Diamond, Shiloh, there's a song, and the Waze app lady kept cutting me out. It was fucking making me furious. These are actually true things. But it's true. Yeah, ever notice like when George Steinbrenner was getting old and they driving him around the golf cart and he's crying and shit? As you get older, you get softer. I got a dog who I love, this little Yorkie. You know, I bought it for my wife. You know, I wanted an English Mastiff. They're about 6'3", 270. But we ended up compromising for fucking anyhow. But I love that dog. But all of a sudden it's deaf now and it's, you know, eyes are getting cloudy. So it's a matter of time. You know. I'll be carrying that to the vet. It'll be shitting on me. I'll be crying. Maybe we'll make a documentary. But I do. I get like, you get soft. I watch a movie, you know, I'll tell you. Practical Magic with Sandra Bullock. That had me bawling my eyes out. I don't even. What is that? Is that Practical Magic? Go ahead.
It was.
What is that?
Shiloh.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Would have been funny when I said it 10 minutes ago.
Wait,
go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I thought it'd be a nice bed for the story.
Go ahead.
Young child with dreams.
Dreaming each dream on your... And then all of a sudden, take the Breckner Highway to the 684 north to 84. And I get pissed. I like Neil Diamond. I love Neil Diamond. All right, back to the phone calls. Well, not yet. But I was talking about the sleep and the depression a little bit, and I'm not a head case, you know. I tried the Zoloft and shit, and they say you got to try a bunch of them till you find the one that's right for you. I don't have that kind of time, for Christ's sake. You're a doctor. I came to you. Tell me what I need. What am I, a fucking lab rat? Jesus Christ! Tell me which one. And then I got the shits, and that was IBS, and it was combined. I'm like, is that the Zoloft? They go, it could be. Then I go online and Google it, and people are like, yeah, it's ruined my stomach, and other people are like, he's crazy. And so then I get off the computer, and I'm totally crazy. But this was interesting. They're going to use psychedelics, you know, folks, mushrooms and LSD and stuff like that. They're going to use them to treat mentally ill health problems. Aided by a slew of recent scientific studies, however, the perception of many illegal substances from LSD to ecstasy as having no medical benefit is beginning to change. Earlier this month, for instance, U.S. researchers found that ketamine, that's like a anesthesia they use it on animals. Yes.
Special K.
How'd you know that? Oh, there you go. That's right. You guys have that special guy. They might reduce the rates of depression. In April, at Sussex University, they did a study that's in London and discovered what to be the first concrete evidence for psychedelic drugs, including a heightened state. And at the beginning of the year, articles promoting the idea of microdosing. I know somebody who's dabbles in this, Neil Diamond. Now, microdosing drugs such as LSD and magic mushrooms appear all over the internet. This woman, Amanda Fielding, is the one who's doing the study. For the past half century, she's given her life over to the research and ultimately promotion of psychedelic substances as beneficial therapeutic aids. So, they gave it to, they did a clinical trial. A dozen volunteers with previously incurable depression were introduced to psychedelic trips using, psilocybin, hallucinogenic compound found in magic mushrooms. Bill Hicks loved that shit. Impressively, results show that 67% of participants were free from depression 1 week after treatment, and 42% remained so after 3 months. Yeah, but how about the after the 3 months when they were talking to their shoes and shitting in their pants in the park and giggling? You know, I mean, that's why I don't. There's a million reasons why I am scared. Brendan, have you tried it? You look like you might dabble in it.
Well, they keep mushrooms. I feel like you got to wait 3 months after you do mushrooms for it to work again.
You never did LSD?
Yeah, I did, and that's one is enough for me.
One was enough for you. My boy Andy here, says he's dabbled in it quite a few times.
Not quite a few, but
you said
around 10.
Didn't you travel with sticks and play bass? What? How many times?
Under 10, around 10.
I am scared shit. I don't know how you got.
I won't do it anymore.
First of all, the mushrooms. One of the first things that happens is you puke your brains out.
No.
What do you mean, no?
That's not what happens.
First of all, you dumb bastard, I've talked to 10 people. I didn't just make it up. Yeah, you do. A lot of the people puke on mushrooms.
A lot of people do, but that's if you do too much. You got to baby step it.
You do too much?
I know. I've seen too many people take a whole lathe of mushrooms all at once.
Yeah.
And that's just being stupid about it.
My buddy didn't take too much. My buddy didn't take too much. He had 3-foot-long subs and a box of chocolates. And I don't know how to make a restaurant. I am so scared of that. Wait a minute. You know who loved it? You love Bill Hicks, right? He's one of my comic heroes. Let's play. He had a great take on drugs. Let's listen to little Hicks.
I used to do drugs. I had no luck with drugs, man. One time, me and 3 friends dropped acid, drove around in my dad's car. He has one of those talking cars. We're tripping, and the car goes, "The door is ajar." We pulled over and thought about that for 12 hours, man. Shit, how can a door be ajar? Oh, shit, why would they put a jar on a car? Oh, shit, the freeway's melting. Put it in the jar.
Yeah, I want to hear some more Hicks on drugs.
Got pulled over tripping once. Woo!
Did I just do that?
Dream come true. I'll match that to any drunk story you got.
Listen to this.
Pulled over tripping. Jesus. Cop was tapping on this window. We're staring at him in this mirror over here. How tall are you?
He's looking at him in the mirror. How tall are you? I am petrified of this shit. And Louis C.K. told me he did it like 100 times a night.
Yeah.
And it really opens that third eye, does it not?
It does, but I wouldn't do it if you have any sort of reservations. Because that is the wrong mental framework to go in it.
No, you have to be totally...
You got to be confident, prepared.
But how do you get confident about taking LSD?
That's what I'm saying. I won't do it anymore. I did it.
What do you like?
Late teens, early 20s. I can't do it. I'm too fucked up and sensitive now.
And the other thing is, there's a guy they used to call Crazy Mike that hung out at the Comedy Cellar. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy. He looks like he's homeless. He would wander in, He called me Vincent. He thought I was Vincent. He would come in. He looked dirty, disheveled. And I when I first got to the Comedy Cellar, I go, why do they let this homeless guy in? And he'd come in and come over to the table where we're sitting the comics. He'd adjust he'd move. There used to be ashtrays at the table. He'd move it like 2 inches, and then he'd turn the light like a quarter of an inch. And then every night he'd come in and do something like that. And then he'd wander out. And I go, finally, after 6 months, I go, Manny, who isn't this? Why would you let this guy in here? And they finally told me, this guy was a brilliant guitarist in the 60s, in the Village, hanging out, doing the whole scene, and he did some acid one night and never came back.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only story I needed to hear. And I know people who do drugs are going to be laughing, go, what? I mean, you know, you take a plane, those crash every once in a while, right? But I'm just saying, that doesn't happen with a Bud Light. You know what I mean? I am so scared of that shit. So I couldn't, again, talking about my sleep problems. I'm talking, my wife's on the phone with her old boss in Los Angeles. He started a company selling edibles, you know, medicinal stuff. And it got real big. He's got ice cream. He's got cooked, all this shit.
It's huge.
So he says to my wife on the phone, tell Nick I'm going to send him some, you know, product to help his sleep problems. And he didn't even send me his product. He sent me his competition's product. I don't know why. He sends me, like a brownie and a couple other things. And he goes, tell him to take like a quarter of the brownie. Then he calls back like 5 minutes. He goes, wait a minute, he hasn't smoked the joint since 1992. Tell him to take like an eighth of the, you know. So I just break off a corner of this thing, and I eat it. And I go downstairs, and I'm laying there, and like a typical rookie, I go, I'm not feeling anything after like 33 minutes instead of waiting. So I go back upstairs and take a bite like it's a fucking Three Musketeers. No, I took another little chunk, and I eat that. And then I go back downstairs. I'm laying on my couch, and I'm waiting for now I'm haunting myself. I'm already in my own head. And I'm watching my flat screen TV, which is about 51 inches. All of a sudden that turned into a 13-inch black and white TV. It seemed like the sounds felt like it was a mile away. It was really weird. I get nervous. I start sweating. I shut the TV off. I start to go upstairs, and I go, should I go up to my wife's up in her bedroom? I go, I can't do this. She'll think I'm a big girl. So I go and lay in a dark guest bedroom, and I'm staring at the red clock radio lights. I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm like, Jesus, should I tell her? Should I? So I walk upstairs, I walk in, she knew I had taken this stuff. She goes, how's it going? I go, not too fucking good, move over. Like a little kid. I get in bed with her. I'm holding her hand, but she's a woman now. She's not my wife. I'm like emotionally distant. I'm in a house and it doesn't feel like mine. I was having like an acid effect on me. And, again, you gotta remember, this is an edible, and they're much stronger from because they give the shit to kids with cancer. I haven't had a joint in 20 years. Let me try that. And so I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my wife, but she just feels like a girl. I don't have any relationship with her, and the house is a house, but it's not mine. She puts on a Bob Newhart rerun. Now I'm in 1974. I'm not making the shit up. I'm panicking. She's laughing at me. And so I lay back and I put my thumb and my index finger on the bridge of my nose. You know how you do that when you rest? And it felt like my fingers were sinking into my brain.
Jesus.
That's like, and I told Carla Quinn, who's done all this shit back in the day, and he goes, he said it was like, that's like when you do acid. I couldn't even handle it. And that's only one of my pot stories. Let's go to Marty, line 4. He's got an opinion about mushrooms. Marty, what's going on?
Hey, how are you? Hey, what it was back in the day, we used to make mushroom tea, boil it down, and then, kind of tea. What we did is take Kool-Aid and sugar, mix it in, and drink it.
Mushroom tea.
You got high. Yeah, and you got high, and it was fun as shit.
What? Okay, but what happened after you drank the tea? You start giggling and shit?
Oh, yeah. You have a great time.
Why don't we hand that out to my comedy club audiences? You have a great time. You didn't throw up, huh?
No, but the guy that's with you that said that you have to have the right frame of mind before you take it.
Well,
right.
I got to get in a mushroom frame of mind.
No, mushrooms are a lot
Thanks
less.
for the call, Marty. I appreciate it.
Mushrooms, my buddy now grows his own mushrooms, and he puts them in, he breaks them down to the dust in a little pill format. 2 little capsules. You pop those, drink a beer, you're giggling for 8 hours. It's the most fun ever.
But visually, does anything change?
No.
So what are you giggling at? I don't get it.
It's fun. Your body feels good. You're laughing. You're just laughing at each other. You've never had the best time in your life. It's bullshitting around with your buddies, and it's just fun.
Mushrooms are great.
Yes.
No
friend
fucking way.
knows. I'm telling you. I'll get you a couple capsules.
I guarantee somebody will call in and said that they threw up at least once on mushroom.
Well, I'm not denying that.
I heard it from everybody in high school. They go, Even I saw something on TV, one of the shows, somebody did mushrooms, but,
now, if we've refined the science down, they know what they're doing now.
No, you're right. But I couldn't handle, and I'll tell another pot story that happened to me in the 80s, man. Rasta pasta. You ever heard of Rasta pasta?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, I go to a nightclub with my buddies, and it was in walking distance of our apartment. I leave early. I'm not having that good a time. I go home. I go in the fridge. I'm drunk. I open the fridge. There's a pot of spaghetti and a pot of tomato sauce.
Oh, no.
I eat enough, and I'm not shitting you. I ate enough, I'd say, I'm not shitting you, for at least 5 people. I must have ate 3/4 of a pound of pasta because I'm drunk and, I'm going to work out the next day. I lay down. I wake up, I'd say, an hour and a half later. My ears, there was like a train whistle. I go, what the fuck? I sit up. I go in the bathroom. I am bright white. I'm sweating they come in the house, right? I go run back in my bedroom because I don't want them to know. I hear this. I'm laying on the bed. I'm freaking out. I hear my roommates go. I hear them in the same. Oh, fuck. He ate the sauce is gone. He ate the whole fucking thing. So I get up and
last thing you want to hear.
They come down the hall. They're standing in my doorway now and they're talking to me, but they sound like they're a mile and a half away. Their voices, again, I am fucking gone. They said they ate this much. They ate like 3 tablespoons each. They were high all night at the dance club. I was so fucked up, dude. It was 10, 12 days later. My ears were still kind of funny. We're watching the Super Bowl. I still didn't feel right. I remember. You can't tell me I didn't do a little damage. I had to do a little bit of damage because orally it's way stronger, right? I was fucking overdosing on THC, whatever the active ingredient is. But
you're fine.
No, I'm fine. Look at me, 55 and fucking.
You look great.
I'm hanging in there. But I never did any mushrooms. That's why. Oh, I wanted to ask. This girl thought I had
fibromyalgia.
Yeah. Oh, she dumped off. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan in New York. He wants to talk about LSD. Ryan, welcome to the show.
How you doing, fellas?
Good.
Hey, bud.
So about 10 years ago, I worked for a restaurant chain as a morning cook, and the chain would hire people with special needs or something along those lines to come in and do the janitorial work, mop the floors and stuff. Well, there was a guy that was the morning guy that would mop the floors and clean stuff up.
Yep.
And one day he was wearing an Iron Maiden shirt, and so over time we kind of got to know each other, found out that I was a musician. And one day I asked him, I said, well, do you play any instrument? He said, yeah, I mostly play keyboards and just scary voices. And so that was what kind of triggered me. I thought, okay, this guy's a little weird. Well, I noticed he was missing his ring finger. And I asked him one day, I said, what happened? How'd you lose your finger? And he said that he did acid one night with a guy who was also missing his finger, and he thought that he wanted to know what it was like to not have a finger, and he cut it off with a pair of pruning shears.
Another reason to do LSD, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Yeah, that was enough for me to never want to try it, man.
Jesus Christ. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for the call. Holy, I notice you have one testicle. Yeah, hand me that sport.
It could have been so much worse.
What the fuck? This is what I'm talking about, guys. How do you get in the frame confident enough to... And then you got I know these stories, and Bill Hicks actually does this, but you got the guy, there's always somebody who thinks they can fly. I don't know. I'm a real chicken ass. And I think it would help me, open me up creatively. But again, at this age, what am I going to do? Fucking learn to play bass? Fucking. Let's go. Here's my other problem with the call-in things. Are we going backwards technology-wise? Can everybody sign?
Yeah, huh? No Bluetooth, no speakerphone.
I'm just saying a regular I'm not expecting them to call it a landline because we live in obviously a mobile world, but I'm just saying we're going back technology-wise. If you listen to radio and take calls, you could hear everything crystal clear. Now sounds like everybody's strapped to the roof of their car on a highway doing, let's go to Daniel. That was Danielle. My glasses. Daniel, Alabama. He tried mushrooms.
Dude, please try mushrooms. Please try mushrooms on the air just one time.
Oh, sure, Daniel. I'll do that right away.
No, I swear to God, dude, it's not. It's fun. It's
I'm with you. I'm with Daniel.
Dude, my wife, I talked my wife into doing it, a couple of years ago.
She's in a shelter now.
No, dude, we lived on the middle of 5 acres. My family owned the 300 that surrounded it. So we cut off every light that we could. There's no light visible anywhere. We went outside on my kid's trampoline. We ate some mushrooms outside on my kid's trampoline. Dude, it's the fucking coolest.
I saw you on Funniest Home Videos.
No, dude.
She's in a wheelchair, your wife, right?
Was she what?
She's in a wheelchair now, isn't she?
No. Dude, she saw a fucking lightning bug. You would have thought she discovered fire. She was so motherfucking happy. It's perfect. It's perfect. The reason that you freaked out so bad for the edible thing, whenever you cook marijuana, it changes. Chemically, it changes.
Right.
When you cook marijuana and actually put it in an edible, it's 4 times more psychoactive than it is when you just smoke it. So what you did, eating an edible is completely different.
Oh, my God. I
swear.
I know. That makes perfect sense, Dan. I'm just saying, can you imagine? And I hadn't smoked a joint since the 90s, and here I am chomping on it.
Oh, my God, dude.
And, of course, I give it to Kurt. Thanks for the call, Dan. I appreciate it. That was great. I give it to Kurt Metzger, because I had the whole candy bar line. He, tweeted me a couple days ago. Yeah, it was pretty good shit.
He's a vet.
I go, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, it was not a bad bug. I go, are you shitting me? Crazy. Let's go to Keith in New York. Hallucination.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up, Keith?
What's happening? I had my little dabble with shrooms and LSD. LSD is definitely a little more potent. You get the more psychological effects from it. The first time I did it, I was 13 stories up. This was in college, and
you in college at 13?
No, 13 floors up.
Oh.
So what they did, my buddies, we were all tripping out. My buddies opened the window.
Yeah.
And I just, backed up. I'm like, yeah, I know I can't fly. So it depends on the person, too, because I've heard people with having bad acid trips and stuff like that. I always when I only did it a few times in college, and the shrooms I did after college, which is a lot more milder. It's not that bad. It's pretty cool, But, that was back in the old days. I'm too old to be doing that stuff now.
Yeah, no.
But, it's always the mindset thing, and people are like, oh my God, I can't deal with this and thing, It's like, and I hallucinate off LSD, but never anything bad or anything like that, So.
Yeah. Well, appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call. I just can't imagine. Because you're not in control when you take that shit. And, the mushroom things, you said you giggle and shit, but there's no visual effects and
it depends on what kind of strain you're taking. There's all sorts of factors that go into it. I mean, my buddy knows what he's doing. Like I said, he's got it down to a science now. He's got the perfect dosage amount.
Are you hanging out with Walter White?
He's the Walter White of mushrooms.
Yeah, Nick, take that. Take a mushroom. Oh.
No, not this fucking time. No fucking way, no fucking way, no fucking way, no fucking way, mate.
Just say no. That's what I do. Look at everybody that's tried it. And I know a lot of girls that try it and shit. And I'm like, really? It must be a real... But if you met that Mike guy, that might change your mind, too.
Yeah.
He was like a world-class guitarist. I bet you he can still play, too.
I've seen some bad ones at concerts. People going down.
Really?
Down for the count. It is scary. Yeah, but like I said, I won't do it anymore.
Yeah. How about, let's go to Keith in San Francisco, his buddy. Keith, go ahead.
How you guys doing? Love your new show, man.
Thank you.
Hey, so buddy of mine, we were all up in the mountains camping, and my buddy decided it would be a great idea to take mushrooms. And so it started to kick in, and you could tell he was all fucked up, and he was constantly holding his shit really tight, like clothes and stuff. And then he decides, you know what? I'm gonna fucking throw my clothes in the fire, meaning mine. So he throws them in there, and he's like. Everybody starts laughing. He's like, dude, aren't you pissed off? I'm like, why would I be pissed off? You threw your own clothes in the fire, not mine.
And you were both on mushrooms?
No, I wasn't on mushrooms. He was. And I was just like, I saw him go for his own clothes, and I figured, fuck it, they're his clothes, not mine.
There you go.
Fucking idiots.
See what I'm saying? Hey, thanks for the call. That's what I'm talking about.
I think the guy just needs better friends.
Yeah, exactly. I like to see the clothes. It was San Francisco. It was probably a smock and a fucking... something with a peace sign, a pair of leather chaps. But look at everybody that's tried this shit.
You're in the minority, bro.
I am in the minority, but look, I did the stuff you're supposed to be doing in the 80s, the cocaine, and it's what the girls wanted. You're
not wrong.
And I didn't do much of that either, though. Because coming down off that shit.
Yeah.
You're having such a great time, but then holy moly is that a bummer. And the grinding of the teeth and the... But boy, the girls get horny on that shit. You know, that's why I used to carry a stash right in my tuxedo when I'd go dancing. Tuxedo. I'd have an 8-ball right into my cummerbund. Connor in Michigan had a bad experience. He had a great acid experience, though. But go ahead, Connor.
What's up, man?
How you doing? You had a good experience on LSD, did you?
Yeah, every time I've done acid, I've had a really good experience. But I did mushrooms in my buddy's basement. It was like 5 of us. This was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, my one friend, he always throws up. So he was throwing up in the bathroom. My other friend went upstairs and laid in his bed, had to go talk to his mom. I got left down in the basement.
Had to go talk to his mom?
And I was, yeah, no, seriously, man. He like went upstairs and his mom had to like go into his room and he was like, "Oh, freaking the fuck out." And then I was in the basement and I tried to go to sleep, and like the one thing you should never try to do is go to sleep when you're on mushrooms, man. Like never. You gotta ride that shit out. So I close my eyes, what feels like about 4 hours ends up being 15 minutes, wake up and totally convinced that I'm gay. Try to fall back and
woke up in another guy's ass. That had something to do.
Wake up again. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? But no, it's fucking weird, man.
All right. Hey, Connor.
I don't fuck with mushrooms anymore.
I can see why. Thanks for the call, buddy. Yeah, well, that's that. When we come back, we'll clear the lines. I want to talk about Harvard. Black Harvard students had their own graduation, and again, we're regressing as far as that goes. Segregation's coming back. It's very, very weird. We'll hit that with Caitlyn Jenner. Something happened to her in London last week. All that stuff right ahead on the Nick DiPaolo Show. Back after this.
You're listening to the Nick DiPaolo Show.
Yeah, trouble ahead, trouble behind. Yeah, that's when I did mescaline on that song. My college football team would go on a road trip. Half the team was taking mescaline on the plane and shit. These kids were crazy. Crazy, man. But the Rasta Pasta, that was, honest to God, I'm 10, 12 days. I probably still wasn't right. I blame anything I do wrong now, I blame it on that night. Absolutely horrible. But, you know, what are you going to do? I don't have the balls to try that shit.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm
black,
yeah. And I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all. And I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, black.
Black Harvard students holding a graduation of their own. Why? Black students at Harvard are organizing a graduation ceremony of their own this year to recognize achievements by black students and faculty members some say have been overlooked. Right there I stop in the article. Do you really think anybody black is overlooked on an Ivy League campus for any reason whatsoever? I find that hard to believe. More than 700 students and guests are registered to attend Harvard's first black commencement, which will take place 2 days before the school's traditional graduation events. It isn't meant to replace the existing ceremony, student organizers say, but rather to add something that was missing. And this is in quotes, we really wanted an opportunity to give voice to the voiceless at Harvard. Does anybody believe black people are voiceless at Harvard or any other campus in this country? Brendan, I asked your thoughts.
Yes.
You do? You believe they're voiceless?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Why not?
Well, like, are there any, like, I mean, I got nothing.
That's why we got him.
No, that's a good answer. He's been brainwashed to believe, everybody's a victim and especially at Harvard. Are you effing kidding me? I mean, Ivy League schools, you couldn't get more liberal, more pro-black. If you don't feel safe on a college campus and you're black, I don't know what to do for you, kids. I don't know what to tell you. But to have your own graduation, voiceless. We really want an opportunity. But Michael Huggins, president of Harvard Black Graduate Student Alliance, a campus group that is planning this ceremony. So many students identify with African diaspora, but don't necessarily feel welcome as a part of the large community, and they don't feel their stories are being shared. I don't buy any of that. Not one fucking iota of it. Not one. Didn't Obama go to Harvard? Yeah, seriously. This is 50 years of identity politics. This is where we are. Just Everybody's a bit, I mean, Harvard's joining a growing number of universities that have added graduation events for students of different ethnicities. Again, just splintered apart in a million pieces, and you can't blame Republicans for that. Some have offered black commencement ceremonies for years, including Stanford, Marshall University, University of Washington. Some of them added them recently. The May 23rd event at Harvard will feature 4 student speakers discussing the hurdles they faced on the way to graduation. Jesus Christ almighty. Every student's they're going to receive a stole made of traditional African kente cloth. Oh, thank Christ. I'm trying to find one for my wife. She loves those things. This event is truly open. This is what Mr. Huggins said, who's heading up this thing. This event is truly open for everyone. Well, then why have it? Why not just go to the traditional one that's open to everyone? I'm just trying to bring some logic to the goddamn conversation over here. I mean, come on.
He's a fan.
No, nobody said that. Anybody with me? 866-969-1969. Students at Harvard began annual Latino graduation ceremony in 2015, and black undergraduates have held similar events. Students say the new event is the first that opens to black students across the university. Well, we're going backwards. We're going into segregation. You got black dorms now. Now you're going to have black graduations. It's so funny. You progressives, you know who you have a lot in common with? Somebody you hate.
And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
George Wallace, Democrat, racist. But you guys seem to, maybe he had it right, Harvard. Unbelievable. You know, they have black dorms now, right? And Asian, LGBT dorms and shit. We're fractured into a million pieces, is the point. And it's really, I don't know, it's really depressing. Here's what I like. When I went to New Orleans, I noticed when I go down south, maybe you can, Brendan, I see black and white people interacting more with each other.
Yeah,
that's true, right?
Everybody's pretty poor together. That poverty kind of unites everybody, I gotta say, down where I'm from.
Well, now see, it's funny when you say that. The people I saw were dressed better than I've ever dressed in my life, and they were like my age, black and white. And they look like very successful people, but they haven't dinner together. I don't see that up here that much. It makes me feel good to see that. You know what I mean? I saw old black and white people too. Very, he's sitting on a bench. I don't remember seeing that up here that often. Do you? You're from Jersey, right, Andy?
Yeah.
You don't see it up here then.
No.
But I just see, it seems like we're regressing, you know? It's just, everybody wants their own thing. Black students at Harvard represent 5% of the overall student body, compared with whites who make up 43%. And the rest is Asian, I'm guessing, according to federal education data. So, campus tensions at the Ivy League school have been heightened over the past 2 years after a series of racially charged episodes. Harvard police called it a hate crime when framed portraits of several black law professors were defaced in 2015. No suspect was found. Months later, the law school agreed to abandon its official coat of arms after student activists protested the symbol's ties to an 18th century slave owner. You know why there was no suspect found? I'm guessing it was probably a hoax. That happens a lot, too. I'm not saying all of them are hoaxes, but lately, especially since Trump got elected, right. I can name 4 of them off the top of my head that I read about in New York papers. But you can't tell me that the black students at Harvard or any other campus, especially the Ivy League, like I said, that they don't have a voice. I'm just not buying it. And their stories aren't being heard. What stories? What are we talking about here? Oh, my aching stem. That's all I'm saying. Let's go to Phil. Line 1. Phil.
Hello there. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing, Phil? Welcome to the show.
Great. It's great listening to you. You know, I was public relations director for the Conservative Party many, many years ago, before you were born.
Okay.
Today, the Republicans are a bunch of wimps.
Yes, they are.
In 2012, I ran for the Florida House, and those rhinos made sure I didn't get elected.
No kidding.
Nobody's got... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You know, nobody's got the guts to tell the truth. And that's why I love Trump. But, you know, he can use somebody like me to
coach
really destroy these left-wingers. You know, Rand Paul was the only guy that I know of who went into Brown University and he said, you know, the Republicans were not in power down in the South legislation of the states. He said, and you guys don't, you know, you actually go to college, but you actually failed history. It was a Republican President Eisenhower who desegregated the schools over the objections, as you mentioned, Wallace and Faubus, and Mr. Jackie Robinson and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. were Republicans. Jackie Robinson's family was thrown out of Georgia, forced out of Georgia by the Dixiecrats. You know, there's not enough of Republicans who got the guts to say it.
Right.
And that's what's troubling me.
Right.
And I know I ran into it all my life, and I'm not a racist, believe me.
Right.
Jackie Robinson was my hero.
Sure.
And I had a musical radio program for 7 years, and I honored Dr. Martin Luther King. And he must be turning over in his grave.
Yeah.
But, you know, and that the thing is that the Black Lives, you know, these people are just a bunch of communists, and they are paid extortionists and protesters. You know, the independents got to wake up, and those are the people that we have to change into conservative Republicans.
Yeah, well, good luck. Thanks for the call, Phil. I appreciate that. But, yeah, I mean, Trump, nobody's got Trump's back. Even, you know, there's these so-called moderate Republicans. They don't want him in there. And you know, John McCain and the people that are supposed to be close to him aren't. He's obviously a novice as far as a politician goes. But you know, he really is, you know, he's really shaking up the system. I like his balls, but you do have to have people, surround yourself with people, kind of the Newt Gingriches of the world. And it doesn't seem like anybody's in his ear right now, you know? And again, I read this book, The Truth About the Bilderberg Group. I really don't know if I'm ever going to vote again. It's all coming true what I read. And, you know, the Paul Ryans of the world, I don't know where they sit. And, it's really crazy. Let's go to, what is it, Ash and Boise, line 2. Ash.
Hey, Nick, I like the show.
Thank you, sir.
I like what you're saying. So, you know, this Harvard thing, as far as the segregating the graduation classes, it's ridiculous. You know, I raised as a Christian, white man. My wife's white, Jewish. My boys are black. We've always taught them to look at the person, not the color of the person. It's ridiculous, and it would be considered racist if Harvard said we're going to have a white graduation.
Yeah,
it'd be just a huge ordeal, and because it's a minority, which is just a smaller number of people,
right? It's
turned into, you know, let's clap for them. That's all it is.
Well, yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've turned into there's a book called Nation of Victims that I read 20 years ago, and it's so good, and everything I read 20 years ago pertains to today. Only it's getting even worse. But that's identity politics. That does not come from the right side of the aisle, I don't think. Yes, Republicans and conservatives back in the 40s and 50s were on the wrong side of race and stuff. You know, some of them were, but nobody acknowledges the progress we've made. Everybody wants to play that victim card. And the colleges are now preaching it. It's just, you know, it's really
the unfortunate thing is it's parents raising the kids to think that it's okay to act however the hell they want to act.
That's
with
true.
No consequence whatsoever.
Sure. Thanks for the call, Ash. I appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, no problem.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a combination of all that, man. You know, it's like, what other country had this idea we can invite everybody from all over the world? You know what I mean? Has there ever been another one? So, yeah, we want to keep labeling it the most racist place ever. It's the only country that's ever tried this. And right now, the experiment's not working. It doesn't look it to me. And I don't think college campuses are helping it. But if you want me to believe that a black student at Harvard was voiceless, I find that very hard to believe. Let's go down to Ross in New Orleans, because I mentioned New Orleans. And as far as I saw it, it seemed like it was, you know, people seem to get along. The integration's probably Ross, go ahead.
Yeah, Nick. I guess I should preface the call by saying that I learned 3 hours ago that my wife died. So that's a good way to start a call, I would imagine. I'm driving back to New Orleans. Actually, truth, I'm driving back to New Orleans now.
Sorry to hear that.
Jesus, sorry, man.
Sorry, bro. But look, the race relations in New Orleans. Yes, I agree. I think we do get along for the most part. To ignore, that there are certain tensions, between some facets of the community would be, ridiculous. But for the most part, the uniting spirit of New Orleans is to party, man. We have festival. We have a festival at least every day,
right.
Or at least every week. Mardi Gras.
A cultural festival, yeah.
Yeah, and Mardi Gras, you see all races, all creeds, everything. However, right now going on in New Orleans, I don't know if this is really making it national, but they're tearing down all the Civil War monuments in New Orleans. They pulled one down last night. You can probably find video on that, the P.T. Beauregard thing. Yeah, and it's like, who exactly? Nobody even knows who the hell these people are. But, but our mayor, for some reason, seems that he's going to pander and think he's going to gain some favor. But even the black people down here are like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
Use the money to fight crime and whatnot. But yeah, I just wanted to reinforce your opinion on New Orleans, and I'm a big fan, bro. I saw you slay on that roast on I think it was Joan Rivers or whatever. Man.
Ross, hey, thank you, and again, thoughts go out to you.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry to hear about your wife.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Like, people are calling in. Are their phones too loud or something? Everything's distorted. Even Jay on line 6 is saying the same thing. Jay.
Yes.
Did the call sound distorted to you too?
Yeah, a little.
They're a little loud.
I'm having to turn off my radio at times.
Okay.
So
I just saw your message up there, and I was like, I didn't know if I was imagining, but
yeah. What do you mean, Jay? Using their voice at full volume?
Say that again.
What do you mean everyone is using their voice at full volume?
Oh, no. I had to turn up my volume on my radio in order to hear the phone call.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if that's on your end or whatever, but
I don't know.
Just letting you know.
Thank you.
I don't know either. All right.
But how's it sound in your head?
Fine.
All right?
Yeah.
They don't hear. It's loud and distorted. I'm having trouble. Let's go to Scott in Louisiana. Scott, what's going on?
I'm just going to tag on to the old boy from New Orleans about the monuments being torn down there.
Yeah.
You talk about people not knowing who that was torn down last night. That was a Creole general from the Civil War who actively, after the war, fought for desegregation in the South.
Right.
So they actually tore down, and in fact, probably, it's not proven, but probably had African-American heritage in his lineage. So they tore down a statue for a guy who fought for their own rights.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. There's no difference between what he's doing and what ISIS is doing with all the monuments and historical facts overseas.
I know. I brought that up. And somebody on Twitter sent me a picture of like when we went into Iraq and we pulled down Saddam's statue, and the kid goes, "Dude, everybody does it." And I'm like, "Are you really comparing a murdering dictator to like a general, American general?" So yeah, and I always tease my liberal friends. I go, "How are you going to teach your kids how racist this place is if you're tearing down, all the monuments and stuff that represent racism back then?"
Right. Well, there again, that's a questionable deal too, because a lot of people argue about what the war was fought over. But anyway, Mitch Landrieu is using this for a political tool to try to further his political career. That's all he's doing.
Right.
And the sad thing is the entire populace of Louisiana is suffering for it because this was actually a tourist destination. Lee Circle is the one that's scheduled next to come down. It is an actual tourist destination of New Orleans. So a lot of people are getting behind it too, and I don't know how well these work, but they're planning on boycotting New Orleans. And it's sad for the people of New Orleans because, like the gentleman said before, most of the people in New Orleans don't want this, but they refuse to put it to a vote before them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but that's what the left does politically. The race card, they've got so much mileage out of it, and it's preached on college campuses. Last 50 years, identity politics. It's taken root, and now you get enough people in this country that buy into it, and it really is. It's just unbelievable to me. But thanks for the call. I appreciate it. But it is heartening when you go down south to see black and white people hanging out together. And I remember when I first went to Atlanta to do comedy, that's the first thing I noticed. I went to lunch and saw like a lot of old people hanging out black and white. You know what I mean? I just don't recall seeing it up here that often. Let's go to Malcolm in Colorado, line 2. Malcolm, welcome to the Nick DiPaolo Show.
Nick, huge fan of you. Love the new program, man. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for calling, Malcolm.
Yeah, so I grew up in Europe, and I don't think Americans understand, like, good old-fashioned racism. If you've been to a soccer game in Europe, do you know what they say out there? Anybody with a different color or ethnicity?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've seen I know, they throw bananas on the field, and...
That's the least of it.
That's the least of it. Yes.
The problem you have here in this country is you have a class problem, not a race problem.
That's right. Go ahead.
But yeah, so anyways, Nick, again, just huge fan, and you, just let me say, you have my favorite line of all times in TV history. The way you say faggot on that poker episode of Louis, priceless.
Louis wrote that, so I said it. He goes, you say it pretty well. But he did write it
with conviction.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It's just a show. Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate that.
Have a good show.
Yep, thank you. 866-969-1969. But he makes a great point. It's unbelievably in Europe out in the open here, And here, if you if you disagree with Obama, you were a racist. Right. They're using it, and I don't blame them. If I'm a Democrat or I'm a lib, that cudgel has been working, and they're not taking their foot off the gas. And go ahead. It's not to the betterment of the country. It's about power and getting that black and brown vote, because that's the future. You cynical motherfuckers. I see right there. Anybody can see that. Oh, lordy. I didn't get to Jenner and a couple other stories that, what do we got left? 10? Whatever. 4? Mm-hmm. That's it, really?
That's it.
My God. The night's flying by with all the hate speech and the mushroom talk. Had a great time. Do you have a great time?
Quiet like a bitch.
I found a great new musician, man. What is it, Pandora? Somebody sent me this.
Spotify?
Yeah, Spotify, yeah. If you can see Brendan's face. This guy, I have his poster in my bedroom still, this guy. Tiny Tim. Oh, this guy could rock the world. He was the first kind of
alt comic.
What's surprising, he used to return punts for the New York Jets in the early 60s. Nobody believes me when I tell him that, but I'm telling you, it's a true story. I'm kidding. But I was going to talk about Caitlyn Jenner. Was over in London getting an award, and somebody yells out, "Oi, Bruce, get your dick out!" But it's being investigated as a hate crime.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Jesus H. There's no difference. But now words and actions are the same. That's the other problem I have. And then somebody threw something at him. Okay, investigate that, but still.
Words will never hurt me.
Well, if you could fake tits and address on them, I hurt you. But I said that. Words don't hurt you. But they do today. That's how political correctness comes about. You manipulate people's behavior by changing the language. And here we are, not liking each other. We're divided in a million pieces. We have ethnicities living next to each other who have nothing in common. And hopefully somebody can save us. I thought it might be Trump, but that's not working right now. We'll have to get a Native American or something, a midget, and something everybody can rally around. But really, should we take one more before we go? Mark, real quick. I only got about a minute, Mark. Wisconsin. Go ahead. Mark?
It's Rick from Wisconsin.
Okay, Rick. Go ahead. You got less than a minute.
Sorry. They are so worried about the monuments in Louisiana. What's next? Washington, D.C.? Are they going to tear down the Washington Monument? He was attributed with slavery, Oh, yeah. Well, what's next?
No, yeah.
Are they going to start attacking all cities?
Yeah.
All states?
Yeah. America's the problem. America's the problem, apparently. Capitalism.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So, thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Mark. Trying to tear down the Washington Monument. Good luck with that. They would, if you give them a shot at it. That's what makes me laugh. They look at this place like it's so evil. I think that is it. I have, we'll get to, I was going to get into Putin and I was going to get into Putin. You're telling me to stretch. How much time left?
We got a little more than a minute.
Okay. That's what I thought. We didn't get into the thing you handed me about the mom pretending the kid was disabled. But that was like last week. That girl ends up murdering her mother. Right. We got to talk about that tomorrow. And tomorrow, folks, we're going to have Roger Stone in, political operative, who he was around during the Nixon days and helped get Reagan elected. And, I mean, seriously, a real force. And probably Trump, too. Obviously, he's tight with Trump. And I know a guy named Randy Credico who's a stand-up comic. He's real lefty back in the day, but somehow he's friends with Roger Stone. But that should be interesting. Roger Stone has a Netflix special out that I'm going to have to watch. And I can't wait to see it because he's an interesting dude. And we'll have him in here for a while. And we'll get to I want to get to Caitlin and Obama. I think he's still got a bunch of cronies in there, and they're doing in Trump. But that's a theory that a lot of people have. So anyways, join us tomorrow on the Nick DiPaolo radio show. I thank you guys for calling in. Thank you, Andy, Brendan, for another great show. See you guys tomorrow night. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Nick DiPaolo Show. Tune in every Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. East, right here on Faction Talk, Sirius XM 103.